How do I wire an oil pressure gauge? If you are a boat owner, you know how important it is to keep your engine in top shape. One key part of that maintenance is the oil pressure gauge. So, how do you wire one? Let's break it down step by step. First, safety is your priority. Always disconnect the boat battery before starting any electrical work. This prevents any accidental shorts or shocks while you are working. Next, you will need to mount the gauge. Typically, you will need to cut a hole in your boat's dashboard or panel. The hole should be about 2 inches in diameter. Once you have the hole, secure the gauge using the back clamp that comes with it. Tighten it only finger tight plus a slight turn to avoid damage. Now, let's identify the wiring terminals on the gauge. Most oil pressure gauges have 3 terminals. The first is the ground terminal, often labeled as ground. This connects to the boat's electrical ground or the negative battery terminal. The second terminal is the power terminal, usually marked as plus 12V. This connects to a switched 12-volt power source, which is typically from the ignition switch. This way, the gauge operates only when the engine is on. The third terminal is the sender terminal. This connects to the oil pressure sending unit located on the engine. To start wiring, take stranded, marine-grade insulated wire, at least 18 American wire gauge. First, connect a ring terminal to the wire and attach it to the ground terminal on the gauge. The other end should connect to a good ground on the boat's electrical system. Next, run a wire from the switched 12-volt source to the plus 12V terminal on the gauge. Make sure to use a fuse or circuit breaker rated for the gauge's current to protect the circuit. Now let's connect the sender wire. The oil pressure sending unit is usually threaded into the engine block or oil gallery. It has a single wire terminal. Connect a wire from this sending unit to the sender terminal on the gauge. In marine wiring color codes, this wire is often light blue. Use ring or spade terminals for secure connections. If your engine has a low oil pressure warning switch along with the sending unit, you may need a T fitting to accommodate both devices in the same port. Most sending units use 1/8 inch national pipe thread. If the engine port is larger, use an appropriate bushing. After all connections are made, reconnect the battery and turn on the ignition. The gauge should register oil pressure once the engine is running. If it reads 0 or erratically, check all connections and ensure the sender is functioning properly. For troubleshooting, confirm that the sender's resistance matches the gauge specifications, which is typically around 240 ohms at 0 pressure. Check for a good ground connection, as poor grounding can cause incorrect readings. If you have to gauge stations on your boat, connect both gauges to the same sender wire in parallel. Make sure each gauge has proper grounding and power. By following these steps and using marine-grade wiring and fittings, you can ensure reliable oil pressure readings. This is essential for monitoring your engine's health and preventing potential damage during your boating adventures.